For those still working, various protections go into law tomorrow in case you or your loved ones get sick or exposed to COVID-19. And joining us now to sort it all out is our legal expert, Is It Legal contributor, Ted Haller. And Ted, to start out with, what should we know about these new paid leave laws that go into effect?
Yeah, there's a big one, Randy. It's called the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. And as you alluded to, it has some new paid leave requirements. I emphasize the word some because there's a lot of limitations to this one. But I think we have a graphic we can put up here just to show you the basics of what this law says. And it says if you're ordered into quarantine by the government or asked to by your doctor, or if you're sick, you can receive 2 weeks of paid leave. And the same thing goes if you're caring for someone under quarantine. It also says if you're caring for a child whose school or provider is closed due to COVID-19, then you can receive 12 total weeks of leave, most of it paid. Now, how much you get paid here is going to depend on the kind of leave that you're taking, but it's going to be likely between about 2/3 of your regular rate of pay and all of your regular rate of pay. But as I said earlier, Randy, a lot of exceptions, a lot of limitations to this one. So best to talk to HR before you do anything here. The biggest limitation here is that this law doesn't even apply to employers with more than 500 employees. Now, fortunately, most big companies have their own paid sick policies. They just may not be as generous as what's under this new federal law.
And briefly on that note, Ted, what if I was just going to use my sick time or my PTO for coronavirus-related issues?
No, I'm glad you asked that. If companies have a policy, PTO or sick, whatever it is, they need to stick by those policies. And here in Minnesota, you can even use your sick time to take care of a close family member who might have something going on.
Okay, a couple quick questions for you. They both involve how people are feeling, their psyche when they go to work. There are reports of people going to work sick because they are afraid of losing their jobs. Is it legal for your company to retaliate if you're out sick in a case like this?
Well, under this new federal law I was just talking about with the paid leave, there is an anti-retaliation provision. So if you're taking paid leave that you're actually entitled to take, no, you cannot be fired, you cannot be disciplined. Here in Minnesota, we actually have a state law that applies to quarantines and isolation, and that's if the state, meaning the health commissioner, forces you and asks you to go into quarantine or isolation. Your employer can't, punish you or fire you for missing any of those days. Also, for people living in Minneapolis or living in St. Paul, there are city ordinances about paid leave now, and those ordinances, they even have anti-retaliation provisions.
And really quick, Ted, this question was asked of the governor yesterday. What if I'm a worker at an essential business, but I still am not comfortable going to work? Is it legal for me to stay home against my employer's wishes?
And that's a really good question because people right now, Randy, are just so rightfully anxious about going in. And I'm going to be a little bit lawyerly here and just say that the law is changing every day with different guidance. We're getting different orders are coming out. But the way the law really lands right now, if you're just afraid to go to work and you're an essential worker and you just don't show up, your employer can fire you for what is essentially, just not showing up for your job. That's the legal answer. You hope that people will be good human beings, but the law might be on the employer's side on that one.
All right, Ted, we appreciate your insight. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Randy.